Welcome to the Unscripted Journey podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Schoen. Around here, we believe in living life on purpose, not by permission. Each week, we'll talk real growth, fresh starts, and bold steps to create a life that's true to you. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take this journey together. Welcome back to the Unscripted Journey. Today's episode is all about gratitude. And I'm going to talk a little bit how practicing daily gratitude changed my perspective on a lot of things. As you guys have already heard from other episodes, when I started this unscripted journey, I began to listen to documentaries, podcasts, YouTube videos. I was reading all kinds of books. And I came across this documentary on Prime called The Secret. Now, I had heard about it. I didn't really know what it was about, but I had heard about The Secret. And I also knew there was a book. I did end up buying the book, but I will tell you, save your time and money. If you don't want to buy the book, the documentary and the book are almost exactly the same. But that's up to you. It depends how you learn, depends how you absorb things. Well, anyway, the book's central idea is that like attracts like, meaning that whatever we focus on, whether it's positive or negative, we tend to draw that into our lives. So basically, the secret is the law of attraction. And I do believe in the law of attraction. I'm going to say it's like if you feel like you're an accident waiting to happen constantly, it's almost like you're always attracting that into your life. So during one of the segments, there was this man who was talking about how he was going through a hard time in his life. And he picked up a rock and stuck it in his pocket. And he told himself, this is going to be my gratitude rock. And every time he touched it or took it out of his pocket at the end of the night and put it on his nightstand, he would say what he was grateful for. In the morning, he was getting ready for work. He'd put it back in his pocket. And again, he would say what he was grateful for. And I'm going to tell you, I'm the kind of person that when something resonates with me, I catch it in the atmosphere so that I can believe it and apply it to my life. And this really struck me. So I told myself that I was going to buy a gratitude rock, or I was going to find a gratitude rock. I'm sure you could find rocks to buy, but it's better to go to the beach or somewhere and find one. And I found it on the beach one day, and it so happened that to me, it sort of had the shape of a heart. So I started to call it my heart-shaped gratitude rock, and I still have it to this day. And from that moment forward, I took my heart-shaped rock, and daily, I began to practice gratitude. So how that actually worked was that, again, it was in my nightstand when I was getting ready for work. I was putting on my watch. I'd stick it in my pants pocket or my jacket pocket or a dress pocket, whatever had a pocket that I was wearing. And I would name one thing I was grateful for every single time I touched that rock. It was just simply a reminder. Every time I held it, every time I saw it, I'd name one thing I was grateful for. Because let me just say, when you are going through a transition in your life, you have to be still reminded of the things that you have that you are thankful for. Because we go through these highs and lows, these peaks and valleys, and if we don't stay grounded, we're not going to be able to move forward onto our next thing. And that act of being grateful every time I held and touched my heart-shaped rock, it wasn't performative. It was really simple, very natural, and I just began to give thanks. I was practicing gratefulness, and I had an attitude of thanksgiving, Over time, it shifted how I moved throughout my day. I started looking for things to be thankful for. Gratitude became a reflex, not just a practice. So, in other words, every time, with or without the rock, I was going throughout my day just having a grateful attitude. And it just became natural. And it wasn't magic, but it felt like it was. It was really weird. I don't really know how to 100% explain it, because that little tiny rock trained my brain for the good, even on days when I didn't feel like it or it didn't look good. My outcome didn't look good. And it felt like it was a little bit of magic. In the book or the documentary, whichever you choose, Dr. Joe Dispenza says that what you think and feel creates your reality. What does that mean exactly? He is saying that our thoughts and feelings shape our reality, and that changing those thoughts and feelings can create a new reality. In other words, you can shift what your reality is. And there is science behind gratitude. There really is. Because it's been said that gratitude lowers cortisol, boosts serotonin, and rewires your neural pathways towards positivity. It's not toxic positivity. Okay, let's get rid of that toxicity. It is training your brain to notice what's already working. And it's not about pretending that life is perfect. I'm not saying you're living in la la land, okay? It is about not letting the hard parts erase the good. Sometimes we're just way too overwhelmed with everything negative or bad that's happening in our lives that we forget to focus on the good things that we have. Do we have food on our table? While we're trying to figure things out, do we have a job? Do we have just some money in the bank? What do you have that you can be grateful for? I want to invite you to choose your own personal gratitude anchor. For me, it was the rock. That's what resonated with me when I was watching the documentary. It could be a pebble. It could be a ring on your finger, a sticky note that you leave on your mirror or your wall or your ceiling, a phone lock screen. Not many people know this. Actually, nobody knows this, but you're all going to know this. I have an iWatch. And on one of my faces of my watch, I just have 3 letters: Y, G, T. And to anyone looking at it, it's not going to make sense. But that was a reminder that I put a long time ago, actually, even before this gratitude rock. And it stands for You Got This. YGT. You got this. And it reminded me every time I went to look at my watch what time it was. YGT, YGT. You got this. You got this. Whatever you're going through the day or in your life or in this moment, you got this, my friends. I want you to use that anchor. And every time you touch it or see it daily, I want you to name one thing you're thankful for. You know, the purpose of the object that you choose is to serve as a reminder. It's a mnemonic device, just like tying a string around your finger was used to help people remember things. If you haven't heard that, people would tie something around their finger, a thin string that would remind them, oh yeah, I have to do this and this and that. Now that's an old practice from many, many, many years ago. And this gratitude anchor is going to serve in the same way. So what could that anchor be? What's one small object that you can tie to a big shift in your life? Right now, just take a breath and name or think of 3 things that feel like a gift to you today. Big or small, they're just yours. I have a job. I have a small savings. I have wonderful children. I have a husband that is helpful and loves me. I have friends that I can go to. What are 3 things that feels like a gift today? See, because if you start small, you start thinking about the things that constantly surround you that are good for you, I think that you're going to be able to accept the bigger things that are still yet to come. Be thankful for those 3 things. Deeply, deeply grateful. Don't just say, hey, I'm thankful for that. Like really feel it inside. Like put your emotion, your heart into it and be deeply grateful. Gratitude does not erase your struggles. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to make everything bad that's going in your life. It's not going to make that go away. But it repositions you to face them from a place of strength. It like gives you this bolt inside of you to be kind of like, if I'm grateful, wow, I feel like I can face anything today because I feel positive. It just brings positivity into your life. It makes space for what's right. It empowers you to be in the right frame of mind. If you're not grateful for what you have now, how can you be grateful and ready to receive what is to come? Sometimes we want everything else that's coming, but we don't look at what we have and how we can utilize that. We're not grateful enough to receive anything else. It's like your mind cannot perceive that what you have is enough. I have this small little decorative sign that says, being grateful for what we have turns what we have into enough. In other words, if you're grateful for what you have, you're not thinking of what you're lacking for. All right, my friends, this is all for now. I hope you can move throughout your day and your night being grateful, being thankful, having an attitude of gratitude, a heart of thanksgiving, and that you can shift your perspectives so that you can be ready to receive what's coming next. Until next time. Thanks so much for listening to the Unscripted Journey podcast. If today's episode lit a spark in you, keep that momentum going with the Unscripted Journey Reflection Journal. It's a guided space to help you tune in, take action, and start living life on your terms. It's available now on Amazon. Just click the link in the episode notes. And don't forget, I've got free resources waiting for you over at cynthiashone.com to support your growth between episodes. Until next time, live free, stay unscripted.